Audience targeting guarantees beyond age and sex demos, getting a lot of headlines. Where do things stand right now? Are you seeing more demand for that?
Yes, we actually have. In fact, we've seen demand for audience targeting products double year over year. And that was one of the main reasons why going into the upfront marketplace this year, we announced an always-on capability so that marketers and agency partners could act on those capabilities both in the upfront marketplace as well as throughout the year in scatter, and really across our two main products, which is our audience targeting platform, which allows you to optimize linear TV plans using data and data matching, and programmatic TV, which allows you as an advertiser to access our television inventory across a number of DSPs that we will be expanding as well. And the reason I think we're continuing to be confident about increases in demand is because we're seeing it come from a broad swath of industry categories, whether it's financial services or auto or travel and leisure or retail or CPG. You really see advertisers participating from across a very broad spectrum. And so we're confident that that will continue to increase as we go both into the upfront marketplace as well as into the latter half of the year. From an industry category perspective, any advertiser that is well set up in terms of managing CRM data, so they have data on their customers that either allow them to remarket to those customers, upsell those customers, or find additional customers, are the ones that are leaning in. And so you can imagine really any advertiser that has access to that level of data, whether it's in retail. We're seeing a lot of uptake in the insurance business, in the credit card business, in the travel and leisure business, where there's a lot of direct customer interaction between the brand and customers themselves. Those are the ones that have data that they're then looking to match up with television viewership data so they can identify those customers in terms of their television viewership patterns. Historically, measurement has never really been fully caught up with where consumer trends are headed. And I think we've only seen that accelerate as viewership and content distribution continues to fragment. So I'm not sure that measurement will ever, quite frankly, be fully caught up. In the meantime, what we're doing about it is really twofold. We're investing in alternative solutions on two fronts. One, what we call total audience measurement, which basically allows us to capture consumption information across all of the distribution touch points that our content gets distributed on and where consumers are engaging with it. And we're sort of first to market with that because we see it when it first occurs. If our content is being distributed on over-the-top platforms or mobile applications, whether it's on Hulu or TV Everywhere applications or our own sites and apps, we see it first. And we now have a methodology for us to be able to use the best measurement solutions for each of those platforms and bring them all together under total audience measurement. So that's one. The second area is what I would call outcomes-based measurement. So really going beyond just counting viewership and being able to determine what impact that messaging has on subsequent consumer activity. And we're investing both in existing, established, as well as new companies that are helping us do that to further demonstrate the efficacy of premium video.
So what are your thoughts on the Open AP consortium, and what are the chances that we'll be seeing NBCU join that?
So we're generally supportive of really any efforts that help the TV ecosystem go above and beyond the traditional age, gender-based way of measuring and transacting on audiences, including this one. As you might know, we have been at this for 3 years straight now. We first launched our data-enabled and targeting products in 2014 with a product called NBCU+. We followed up with the audience targeting platform in 2015. Then a year later, we launched our programmatic TV efforts and folded all of those capabilities under the Audience Studio, so you can now activate audience segments across linear and digital platforms with self-serve platforms or a managed service. And this year, really the always-on capability is about scaling that now to a capacity level that we announced at $1 billion. So we believe, with our own capabilities, we're matching very granular level television viewership data with first, second, and third-party data to allow optimization, inventory management, delivery, and reporting to occur at scale across a number of networks that approximate 95% of total viewership reach in the United States, which is about the same amount that I believe the OpenAP initiative announced. So again, we believe that with our own capabilities, we continue to lead the marketplace. That said, we will continue to evaluate participation in OpenAP, and if that aligns with our roadmap and objectives, and if it finds client and agency adoption, we'll be the first to reevaluate participation in that.
So safe environments in the digital realm are getting a lot of headlines these days. Obviously not anything new, but still important. What's your view on that?
Well, I think there's sort of a sum total of a focus on safe environments, premium quality content, and a realization that context really matters. Mark Pritchard has been very vocal about this lately. I think you're seeing reports of a number of advertisers shifting the way that they consider spending media, both on digital as well as television platforms, and really towards these brand safe and more premium content environments. I also think that there's an increasing realization that when it comes to digital platforms, that what really drives the engagement and efficacy on those platforms is premium content. And we're seeing that validated just by the demand we see against some of our top franchises, whether it's The Tonight Show, Saturday Night Live, E! Or The Voice, all of which get distributed on platforms like YouTube and Snapchat and other social media environments. That demand against that content in those platforms is validating, I think, to us, how advertisers are increasingly thinking about premium content and context really driving brand messaging and impact. And we believe that's going to be a big trend going into the coming year and the upfront marketplace as well.
Last question, any thoughts on dynamic ad insertion? Seeing an uptake on that?
So dynamic ad insertion has been around for a number of years. I think it's only now really coming into its heyday because of where consumption is occurring. In traditional linear environments, you're still not able to dynamically insert ads, but as viewership migrates towards digitally enabled platforms, whether those are over-the-top, set-top box VOD, or mobile and desktop environments, dynamic ad insertion now makes possible everything that we just talked about in terms of being able to swap out creative, in terms of being able to bring data and automation to the transaction of premium video in all of those environments. So I believe that the future will all be dynamically ad inserted, and that's what we're working to with partners like Freewheel and others in the industry as well.